Welcome to Save the Story podcast, where books and snacks are life. I'm Nicole. That's Vanessa.
Hello.
Hey, girl.
Are you trying really, really hard to be happy right now?
Yes.
On the inside, are you dying?
Just a smidge.
Oh, no.
But I'm only bringing positivity to this episode.
Great.
Only great things to talk about.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me.
Oh, I didn't think you were actually going to call me out. Come on. No, just joking.
Give me one great thing, Nicole.
I went to the tastiest bakery
Okay.
ever been to.
That is a great way to start.
Yes. So I sent you the video, right?
Yes.
And I don't know, is it possible to put a video in video? Like,
They added that.
Go?
They've added that capability. So
Okay.
yes, I can.
Wherever it's supposed to be. Just put the little snack clip
I
because
think it's over here. I never remember.
me neither, but I took the video of me walking down the long wall of snacks, and that was only half of it. It was like a 30-second video.
Oh, there was?
Yeah.
There was so much to choose from.
Yes. And that didn't even have the refrigerated stuff. They had a whole nother refrigerated section where they had like cakes, ice cream cakes, flan, fucking
Oh my gosh.
all these like tres leches cakes, like all this crazy ass cake.
What?
And
The picture or the video you sent me was not refrigeration? It was just
yeah,
cabinets?
It's cabinets.
Oh.
I don't think they were refrigerated, but
oh, okay.
and then there was another wall that was behind me, but there's people behind me, so I didn't pan and do more video.
That was very kind of you.
Yes. But there's a whole other wall behind me of almost equal length of more cookies. And I was just like,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, so you like walk in there and it's like all self-serve. They give you like this tray and these tongs and you just go pull out whatever you want and carry. There were people carrying these lunch trays. It was like a cafeteria lunch tray.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Just piled high with snacks. They were like 6 high. They're just like people with armfuls of fucking bread. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this place is insane.
Okay, tell us what kind of bakery it was.
So
And
I think they specialized in like Mexican style, because there was like all of, like anything. Like they had like 3-foot long churros. They had like multiple different kinds of tres leches. They had all of those types of snacks. So yes, the reason that I actually wanted to go there is because last week, I don't know, I can't remember what day it was now, but I really wanted something sweet. I was just, and so I was like, oh, I'll just look and see what's on DoorDash.
Oh, that's right.
And
Yes.
so I was looking and I found this bakery on DoorDash and I was like, oh my God, they have conchas. I must have these. I've never had them before. And they look too intimidating to make myself.
Yes.
But I wanted to eat one. So I put a whole bunch of things in the basket, the cart, and I went to go have it delivered. And after they added taxes and delivery fee, it was like $50 for like 5
Yes.
conchas. And I was like, yeah, I don't need something that bad.
No, that delivery price is not worth it.
Right. So I was like, I'll just wait. So my sister and my mom were visiting this weekend because they've never seen the new house.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, what do you want to do? And I was like, you don't have a choice. I'm going to this bakery.
This is where we're going.
Yeah,
Yes.
you could come with me or you can hang out at the house. And they were like, all right, Nicole, I guess we'll come with you. And so
Yes.
we got there and everybody was just like mind blown.
It feels like it would be overwhelming.
It was so much. I'm gonna have to go back again now that I know the drill,
Yes.
and maybe try to go earlier, like right when they open, because
Okay.
there's so many people there and they all knew what they were doing.
Right. They had a plan in place.
Right. Yeah, I was just kind of watching people like, oh man. So yeah, they even had those big coolers full of homemade tamales. And I was like, I'm so excited.
Did you buy them?
Yes, I did.
Were they delicious?
I'm having them for dinner tonight.
Oh, okay.
So I'll let you know.
Okay, I need that in my life.
Yes, I am so excited. I completely forgot about him last night when I was making dinner because I was like meal prepping for the week.
Yeah.
And as we were sitting down eating, I was like, shit, my tamales. So then Mike was like, we have tamales. And I was like, yes. And he was like, why are we eating this garbage? I was like, I don't know.
First of all, we is not, nobody said we have tamales. We said I have tamales.
Yes. I will eat as many as I can, and you can have whatever's left over. Oh my goodness, yes. I don't know how many are in that bag, but I feel like I probably should have counted.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That is honestly one thing that I miss so much about being back home is that we would go to my grandma's and my family's house and stuff for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and there would be more tamales at the house than you would know what to do with. It's just a whole kitchen of all of my Mexican aunts and grandma just making tamales for like 24 hours. So there's more tamales than you could ever imagine in your entire life. And it was my favorite time.
Man, it makes me, I wish I would have found this place while you were still up here, because then we could have gotten some and you could have eaten them and told me how. I think they're authentic and I think they're going to be delicious.
Yeah. When
I come down to visit you, I can stop and get some and bring them.
Yes. I was going to say, or the next time I come up there, we're putting that on the list of places we absolutely have to go.
Yes. So everything that I've eaten that I bought from there, because I kind of loaded up because I was like, I could spend like $50.
You should. Yes. Yes. You're no longer paying the $50 to ship it. So
I could spend the whole $50 on food. So yeah, I ended up everything that I bought that I knew I wanted to eat, I had to double up because I knew that if I took it home, there was a really good chance that Mike would see it and be like, oh, that looks really good. I'm going to try it. And then I wouldn't get to eat it. So anything that I was like, man, I really want this, I doubled up. So
you had to buy two. Yes.
When I got home and I showed Mike, I was like, anything there's two of, you can have one. But if there's only one,
it's not for you.
You can still have it. I'll just be less upset about it.
Oh, okay. My feelings are not as attached to those items.
Correct. I was a little on the fence about those ones. So
okay, great.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I'm so happy that you actually went there. I was really sad when you told me that your DoorDash was so much, and I was like, damn it.
I know, yeah. So yeah, I had the concha. I had it last night, and it was delicious. It was good. You were right. They are kind of dry.
A little dry, yeah.
But I only ate half of it. Okay. And then this morning, I used it to dip into my coffee, and it was delicious. So it was like just like a spoon that I used to like scoop up a coffee and like drink it.
They are really good. I do like the taste of them. I just feel like they are not as like moist as I would want my bread to be.
Yes. So can I ask you a question? Are all the toppings cinnamon flavored, or can you get different flavored topping, the crinkle topping?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think they're all cinnamon. I feel like I have never had cinnamon topping.
Oh, yeah, that crinkle topping on mine was cinnamon flavored, and I wasn't expecting it because I had never had one, so I didn't know what to expect. I wanted to be completely surprised. So when I ate it, I was like, what do I taste? Cinnamon? This is delicious. But I wasn't sure if it was meant to be that way.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. But it's been a really long time since I had it. But from what I'm remembering is no, they don't all have cinnamon. But now I can't wait to just try everything.
I know. Yeah, I bought a whole bunch of stuff, and then I was like, I'm gonna go sit down because they have like you can also get lunch there where they make like a whole bunch of different things. And I was like, where you could buy like it's like going to like any restaurant. You can buy anything, and sit down and they'll bring it to you or whatever. But I was like, can I sit down in your restaurant side and just eat these snacks? And they were like, yes. So I had like a thing of juice, and I had like this apple pie turnover thing and half a concha.
Oh my
I
gosh.
was like, I need to stop eating.
Okay, what is your snack then? How are you gonna narrow it down?
I'm gonna do conchas because that's what drove me to go to this place.
Okay.
But they
That's
also
fair.
had cute little chocolate pig cookies.
What?
I know. I wanted like 6 of them because they were so cute. They were little chocolate cookies shaped like pigs. I was like, I don't know what this is, why it's here, but I need it. I need them. They were so cute. So that was what I wanted to be my snack, but I felt I had to stay true to the reason I went to this place.
Sure. So. Okay. So you did buy the chocolate pig.
Yes, and it was delicious.
Okay, great. I accept that you are using the what is it called? Concha?
A concha? Please, if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, I'm so sorry.
I couldn't tell you because I don't remember my family ever making those. Maybe as a kid or whatever, but I don't really like know the name from that. But anyway, I think that's the right call to make that be your snack this week. What a way to start it off. I'm so happy you went right upbeat. You just made it so much better.
Yay.
Yes. Well, my snack this week is one that you told me that I had to make as my snack this week. I don't know if you remember, but you told me that I had to make my snack raspberries this week.
Oh, yes, that's right. I did say that.
Because
no choice.
Yes, because this is a weird way to say it, but I have never had just like raw raspberries.
I was like completely flabbergasted when you said that.
Yes.
I was like, what does that mean?
I do, right? I've had raspberries in like blended in smoothies. Yeah. I've had raspberries like in things like as a jelly or something, I don't know, as a jam. I've had them in all of these ways, but I have never just eaten a raw raspberry
in its true form.
in its original form. And this week I had my breakfast all week this week was like a Greek yogurt bowl or whatever with fruit. And all the strawberries have been so shitty in the grocery store lately. And we ran out of bananas, and the only thing we had in the house was raspberries, and I was like, well, this is just gonna have to happen.
Never let live.
So I did it, and they were delightful.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I purposely did not ask you.
You never asked.
You have to use it for the snack, but don't tell me. I've been waiting to hear this, actually, because now that she said it, I was like, wait a second. I never did ask what she thought about these delightful raspberries.
Yes, they were delightful, and I've now had them in 3 more of my yogurt breakfasts.
Nice.
Yes. So I'm going to tell you what my yogurt bowl is.
Okay.
Just so that everyone knows what my what my whole breakfast is.
Okay.
But my snack is only going to be the raspberries.
Okay.
Okay. So and I'm going to tell you exactly. I'm going to give you exact measurements.
Okay.
Okay. I have 200 grams of vanilla Chobani yogurt.
Okay.
Or Greek yogurt. I have 1 tablespoon of chia seeds.
Okay.
15 grams of vanilla ice cream protein powder is mixed in there.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Have you heard of Catalina Crunch? It's like
a cereal.
Yeah, it's like on the package it says like it's keto friendly or whatever, but really it's like a protein keto friendly cereal, whatever. I have 40 grams of Catalina Crunch cinnamon toast flavored.
The best
and
flavor.
I crush it up and I mix it into the yogurt, and then I top it with fruit, and that is my breakfast.
Do you put all of that in before, or do you carry it all separate and then put it in?
like when I get to work and
when you
eat.
get to work.
So the yogurt, the powder, the chia seeds is all mixed together.
Okay.
And then when I get to work, I mix in the cereal and the fruit.
Okay,
Yes.
I was concerned that you put the cereal in first and it sat in there all week. Like,
No. I also, so for if I'm meal prepping, it's only the yogurt and the protein powder goes in. The chia seeds, that will be gross by like day 3. So that has to be morning of. So that is my breakfast when I do a yogurt breakfast, and I would recommend it to anyone. It's high in protein, it keeps you full, and it's delicious. So there you go.
Yes, most important meal of the day.
Yeah, Nicole. Miss, I don't eat breakfast.
No.
well, you should.
I know. I need to.
So, yeah. So that's all I have for snacks. Just raspberries this week, and that's all. I do have a Mr. Chatty corner if you're ready for that.
Yes. Now that we've established the rules for Mr. Chatty, I will allow this.
Do you want to tell everyone what you told me the rule was?
You cannot have more conversations with Mr. Chatty or about Mr. Chatty in the episode than you do with me. I draw the line.
Okay, that's fair. I think that's a fair rule, and I accept this. But today's Mr. Chatty's corner is delightful. You do know about this already, but I can't wait to share it with our listeners.
Okay.
So, the other day, I was having problems with my AirPods.
Oh, yes.
They were my right ear. So it was like first generation AirPod Pros. So I've had them for a few years, and over the last like 3-4 months or whatever, the right earbud has been getting staticky. Anytime I would like fix the ear, whatever, it would automatically just go full static, and then I'd have to take it out, and it was just a mess, and I was getting tired of it. And so I started talking to Mr. Chatty about comparing, because there's a couple new AirPods out, and so I was like, which one is the best? Like, which one do I want? Which generation do I want? Which version? Blah, blah, blah. So he gave me all the information, and I was like, cool, these are the ones I want. And then I said, just like offhandedly, like you're talking to a friend.
Right.
Now I just have to get my husband to agree. And he was like, oh, do you want me to write an official justification? And I was like, actually, I do.
Yes, please.
Yes, I would like a letter of justification for him. And for those of you who don't know, Tim writes contracts for his job. It's his career. So offering to him a letter of justification in contract form is basically like right up his alley. So I'm not going to read you the whole thing that he wrote, but I do want to point out a couple of things that he said in this letter of justification. So first, he just says, this letter serves as formal justification for the immediate and necessary acquisition of the Apple AirPods Pro 2nd generation USB-C, specifically. And then he has it broken down, one for technical malfunction, one for technological advancement, one for economic urgency, because due to the U.S. tariffs that are starting, it may cost more to buy them in the future. And the last clause, which I think is the best clause, is for marital harmony.
Smart man.
Yes, he says, denying this upgrade may result in prolonged sighing, side eyes during streaming sessions, and the phrase, you wouldn't understand, your ears don't hiss at you, being used at inopportune times. He said, therefore, in full support of Mr. Chatty, the neutral, all-knowing assistant, it is hereby recommended that this purchase be approved immediately for the good of the household, the budget, and the vibes. I love that he finished it off with, on behalf of Vanessa, who deserves clear sound and quiet luxury.
That man knows you.
He really does. And so I would like all of the listeners to know that when I sent this to my husband, he was so moved by how well it was written, and that I actually did that when I got home from work that day, they were sitting on the counter. He had purchased them and got them delivered while I was in the office, and when I got home, they were here for me.
Yeah, same day delivery and everything.
Same day delivery. Yes. So I am going to, from now on, recommend anyone, if you are trying to make your husband buy you things or approve purchases or whatever. I had sent it to Tim as a joke. Like, this was me just being like, I'm gonna buy these and here's my reasoning, don't at me. Mm-hmm. And it worked to make him buy them for me. So I will be doing this in the future when I want something that I don't want to buy myself.
Yeah, I wonder how many times this is going to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to be very strategic with when I use it and how often, for sure. Mm-hmm. But I'm happy to know that it worked for this particular item because it's expensive and I didn't want to spend my money. So I made him spend his.
No, you didn't make him. You convinced him.
That's right. Me and Mr. Chatty worked together to convince him of my immediate need. Yes. So I'm very happy with my purchase or my gift, my whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I'm very happy with it. I'm very excited that I have them. And I no longer have staticky ears. So
nice.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chatty. I will love you forever. I don't know. I don't know.
I will love you as long as these earpods last.
That's right. And he's already said that he is on standby for the next time I need an official letter of justification. So nice. that is where it is. So it's a really fun Mr. Chatty corner this week. I love that. Yeah.
Okie dokie.
That's all I have. Oh. Now tell me your books.
Oh.
If you're ready for that.
I think I can be.
Okay, great. Okay. Can I ask you a question first?
Yes.
It's kind of a spoilery.
Okay.
A spoilery question. Do you feel like you're out of your slump?
Oh. No.
Okay.
Do not. I don't know. I feel like I'm not going to be able to give like a solid yes or no answer because I've really messed up. Usually I just do, I read these books. This is what I'm going to talk about this week.
Yeah.
But ever since I read a book, so that way I read it early so that way I could make sure that I would have it for next week.
Yes.
And then we have a couple like friend reads that we're doing that I started early and now I'm going to have to hold on to them. So it's not a big deal, but I feel like it's really just messed up my flow. And so I'm just struggling to like remember how much I've read and if I can read it if I can talk about it this week or if I, so some of it I feel is that.
Okay. Like you put yourself in a little bit of a bind.
Right. So maybe some of it is just like I'm putting undue pressure on myself. And then some of it is like I get home from work or I get done with like doing chores or, making dinner or something. And I like look at my book and then I just like look at the TV or I like look at man, what do the insides of my eyelids look like right now? Next
that
thing
seems
I know,
much better.
Yeah. Next thing I know, it's 4 a.m. the next morning. My alarm is going off. So yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a true slump now, if I'm in true slump or if I've just kind of like rattled myself or whatever you want to call it. So.
All right. I'm sorry to interrupt your starting. I just wanted to know before we got in.
That's okay. I have 2 books.
Great.
So the first book is called Codename Nemo.
Yes.
So this is The Hunt for a Nazi U-Boat and the Elusive Enigma Machine.
Okay.
It's the long name. It is by Charles Lachman. I listened to it on Audible, and it is a history, if you were not aware. So this book is June of 1944. A Navy task force captures a Nazi submarine. Its crew, all its technology, code books, and an Enigma machine. Something that no one thought was possible. So, this book, so that was my very short, like, this is the book. But really this book tells that story from both sides. So you get, you have the German U-boat, you have all the story told from the German point of view of everybody who is in the, everybody who served on that U-boat. You also have it on the American side, like that hunt for the U-boat and why they decided to look for it and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then the afterward, which is like, after they found it, how did they keep that a secret?
Okay.
So, this history book is, it's a lot of backstory. Like the actual capturing of the U-boat is like one chapter.
Okay.
The rest of it is they have to tell all the main players on the American side and all the main players on the German side, and they literally give the entire history of that U-boat. So the day that it came out of like production to the day that it was captured, they give the whole history of all the crews and like stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it's like a play-by-play, like a day in the life of, and then like a play-by-play of the capture. So there is, I guess, for me, I know a lot of people like different kinds of history. I prefer more technical history. I like to know technicalities of stuff, like how things are made and why it's important and stuff like that. You don't really get that. There's no like technical, like this is how U-boats work. This is what they did. It was just kind of like they went inside the boat and there were lots of like handles and like, pipes and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay. Cool.
I think I'm the opposite of you. I think the history books that I read, are more like people focused and not technical focused.
Yeah. So this one was way more people focused. Okay. So, there's a couple things in this book. There's a couple things. So, there are some historical typos.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's a bunch of crazy stuff, and I know I missed a bunch. I must have, because I listened to it, so I wasn't able to like read it and really like go back and like double check it. So I'm pretty sure I heard historical typos.
I was going to ask that. I was like, how do you know there's typos if you?
Yeah. So but it was things like a turn of phrase. Like he was like, "Oh yes, the jet aircraft," or and I was just like, I'm pretty sure there were no jet aircrafts at this point.
No, not in the 40s.
Yeah. So, and then it was just like, oh, and they used sulfur drugs, and I know that because I didn't read the book, I don't know if it was pronunciation that was wrong or if it was actually spelled wrong in the book. Okay. So I actually went and looked. This is one of the few books that I actually went and looked prior to doing this review because I was like, I have to know. Yeah. And there's several people who have reviews on Goodreads where they list it out. They're like, man, who did the editing of this book because it's terrible. And I was like, validation. So
that's even wild though that you could pick it out from listening to it. Like you could tell that they needed to edit the shit out of it.
Right. So I only caught like those two that I gave you. There are a couple. If you go look at there's a couple where there's one guy, I should have wrote down his name. He literally went through the book and found like
highlighted everything.
25 issues. And I was like, damn. So the ones that I wrote down during the book are the ones that I talked about.
Okay.
The ones that I didn't catch because, maybe I just didn't know that, or it was an audio thing where I just maybe wasn't paying as deep attention. So I'm not really 100% sure what the issue is there. Is it an editing issue? Is it an author issue? Is it, just keep that in mind. It's little things like that though. Like,
sure.
If you can get over,
jet airplane in the 40s.
Yeah. So like I said, some of it I was just like, maybe it's just like I said, just like a turn of phrase, like, oh, the boat was loaded with jet aircraft. And it was just like,
maybe not.
But maybe if you're not a history buff, that doesn't matter to you. Right. And I don't even really consider myself to be a history buff. I was just like, something's fishy.
You caught
here.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, this is not anything wrong with the book. Mm-hmm. But it does bother me about the history. So I know I didn't take this into account with the book, only a little bit. So there's a guy who worked on the submarine for the Germans, and when the boat was captured, to keep it from sinking, they were like, well, maybe we can get one of these guys to help us. And so they asked one of these guys, and his name is Ewald Felix. He actually, real person, worked on the boat. They convinced him to like, hey, help us with this. And when we get back to the States, we'll make sure to tell them that you helped us and, blah, blah, blah. And the guy was like, oh, I'm kind of nervous about this because if anybody from my crew finds out, like,
right.
I don't want to be killed.
It's going to look a little fishy.
Right. So they were like, oh no, that won't happen, blah, blah, blah. And they did not try to help him out. Like, and then he, like, without giving too much of the book away, but it's just one guy, right?
Yeah.
And he has such a small storyline in this book after that. Like, he helps them. They get to the States. They're like, we'll do what we can to help you. And basically, he still
just like forgot about him.
They like forgot about him, and he still gets sent back to like Europe after the war, and like they like went like try to find him or something, or they sent him a letter to try and like, and he sent a letter back, and he's like, I really need help, like, I'm not okay, and they didn't help him. And then they hear from him like a couple months later, and he's like, I'm in hiding with my parents, and
holy shit,
can you please, if there's anything you could do to help me, like, we're so poor, could you at least send me clothes? And that's where the book left it. And I was just like, what happened to Felix?
The U.S. just left him hanging.
So I was just like, after that I looked, I was like, everywhere on the internet, information? Like, where is this information? So there's a couple different like things where it's like, oh well, he was, he died in he died in like a POW camp, and then like another site where they're like, oh well, that didn't really happen, that was just the US saying that so that way people wouldn't look for him. And then it was just like, so there's a whole bunch of that, and then you get to the end and it's like, oh yeah, he ended up living with his parents. And nobody ever heard from him again. And I was like, this is bullshit. Like, that is the only man I even listened to the epilogue of the history book, which I never do. Because they were telling the story of all of the people who were on the boarding party for to go in there and catch the U-boat. And they told all the history of like some of the Germans who had served on it, like how they finished out their life and stuff like that. And I was like, Felix is going to be
where
in here.
Is he? Yes.
I'm going to hear what happened to Felix. I listened to the whole thing and he was not mentioned, and I was so pissed.
Oh no.
For that reason, I marked this book down. You could have at least told me nobody knows what happened to Felix.
Okay.
He's literally one of the main reasons that the Americans were able to get this boat
Make it back. Yeah.
Like, they towed this boat like 2,000 miles across the ocean, and he is one of the main reasons they were able to do that. And he doesn't get more than like a footnote. So I was very angry on his behalf.
Yeah, that's really terrible.
I wanted to know. So, yeah, so the book was good. Okay. I thought the book was interesting, I guess, based on what people are saying with how many errors there are. Maybe it's better to listen to this one.
Yeah.
But I guess like interesting side note is U505, the one that they captured, is at the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago. It is on display there. Yeah.
Should we go to there?
Yeah, I think we could.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So I give this book a 3.5.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with the book. It's just not what I wanted in a history book. Okay. And it was interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it. I just was not. It was not the most interesting history book I've ever read. So 3.5 conchas.
Great.
Second book.
Yes.
Is called All Systems Red by Martha Wells.
I saw you read this, and I'm very interested to hear what you have to say, because I feel like it's been on my list for a while, and I'm also a little surprised that you read it. I don't know why.
Can I tell you why I read it?
Yeah.
I was going to save this for after the description, but I'll tell you why I read it. I was on the TikTok. Okay. And now they play...
Such an old person. Yes. I'm on the TikToks.
I'm on the TikToks, and they play like ads on TikTok. Okay. So I got caught in an Apple Plus TV show ad.
Okay.
They are making it into a TV show.
Okay.
And the little advertisement made me giggle. Okay. And I was like, I feel like this is probably a book.
Yeah.
And so I looked it up, and I was like, shit, it is a book. So here we are.
Great. Isn't it a series?
It is. It is a 7-book series. So All Systems Red is number 1 in the Murderbot Diaries series.
Yes.
It is sci-fi. It is also Kindle Unlimited right now. All of them except for book 7. Book 7 is not Kindle Unlimited. That's how they get you.
Yeah.
Martha! So my description may not be coherent. Go watch the TikTok. Go watch the advertisement.
The trailer for the show.
Yeah, go watch the trailer for the show if you want true representation, I guess. So in the future, there is space travel. And if you want to go explore a planet, you could do that. But you have to go through the company.
Okay.
And they'll give you everything you need to go there. They'll set you up. But if you're going to go, you also have to take a safety unit. This is called a sec unit. And that will keep you safe. And because if you go there, you have to... I'm giving you a lot more backstory that's in my description. Because if you want to go there, you have to basically insure your life. So they send with you security units to keep, to keep you safe. And so on a distant planet, a team of scientists are out there doing science things, and they are being protected by one such robot.
Just one?
Well, it's one. It's one per 10 people.
Oh.
So they only have one.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes. So only this one has hacked his governor module and refers to himself as Murderbot. Bum, bum, bum.
Let's hope Mr. Chatty never does that.
Yes. What can we call you? Murderbot.
Murderbot.
Yes. There's one line in the trailer that I laughed at. It's not in the book, but it was hilarious because like, stop calling it Murderbot, and he's like, that's what he wants to be called. I'm calling him by his name. It's just like,
To him, it doesn't mean that.
Oh no, it does mean that.
Oh,
He knows.
No.
So like I
Sounds
said,
mean.
this is going to be an Apple Plus TV show.
Okay.
I'm stoked that we have Apple Plus because I
Yes.
will be watching this show.
Okay.
This book is really short. It's only 144 pages. It took me like 3 hours to read. It was very short.
Yes.
So I think the main thing with this book, the main takeaway, is the robot is literally all people.
Okay.
So he encompasses everything people want. So he doesn't want to work.
Okay.
He's
like, I don't want to protect you. I know I'm here to protect you, but
he doesn't want to work. He doesn't want to people.
Great.
And all he wants to do is watch trashy TV.
He's my new best friend. Sorry, Mr. Chatty.
I know. As I was reading this book, I was like, man, this is me. So,
gosh.
Yeah. So this book is really short. There's not a lot of story building. They kind of just drop you in and Murderbot, because it's told from his point of view, it kind of just explains things as he goes. You know, It's just like, I'm here because I have to be here. And he says it, says it like that. He's like, I'm here not because I want to, but because I'm a bot and I have to, and I have to protect these people because the company makes me. I'm like, yeah, I get that. I'm here too because I have to be here.
The company makes me.
Company makes me. The ending is great. The whole book is great, but the ending is great and it has a good cliffhanger. I know some people don't want that. So I give this one a 4.
Okay.
4 conchas. I'm willing to go higher.
All right.
It was a great first book. I didn't have anything wrong with it. I just am not sure if I could give it a 5. It's definitely not the favorite book of the year, favorite book of the month. Maybe it is now. Who knows?
You don't know.
But I don't know yet. It's only the halfway mark. So, but it's a great book. I highly recommend to anybody if you are looking for a good book, even if it's sci-fi. It's really not weird sci-fi. It's like normal. We're space traveling and you have a Mr. Chatty. That's the most sci-fi it is.
I think I will move it up on my list. I'm pretty sure it's been in my wish list for my Audible wish list for a really long time. So maybe I'll move it up.
Yeah. And like I said, it's unlimited right now. It's Kindle Unlimited. So they're all free right now. So
excellent.
I'm probably going to try and read all of them before they fall off Kindle Unlimited.
Good choice. Good choice. Nice. Wait, did you listen to it or did you read it on Kindle Unlimited?
I read it.
Okay, cool. The end?
That's it.
Yay.
Yay, all of them.
That one's a really fun one. I don't know why I was surprised to see that you read it, but for some reason I was. It's not like you haven't read sci-fi before, but it just, I don't know. I feel like you've been diverging into a different world, and it's weird for me. I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, I have been all over the place. So
yeah, especially I've seen your Goodreads lately, and I was like, "What is happening over there?"
I'm having an existential breakdown.
You really are. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Well, before I get into my books, can I tell you an update from last week real fast?
Yes.
I beat Hogwarts Legacy this week.
Oh, so you were actually able to read again.
Yes. I listened to, I didn't have time to read because I was playing through the weekend, like through the week and the weekend, but I listened a lot. But I did beat it.
Do you listen while you play?
No.
Oh, okay.
I tried for a little bit, and then I was finding that I was distracted, especially when I get into battles and I'm focusing on, like, I have to hit all of the buttons. Yes, I have to pause the book because I'm not paying attention. So I was like, whatever, I won't listen. But I just need everyone to know that I beat it, and there's still, like, I'm not at 100% because there's stuff that you can do after you beat, like, the main game. But I mean, I beat it, and I'm very happy about it. So That's my update. Okay. So I did read, let me go to this real fast. Okay. I did finish a trilogy this week.
When you said that, I wanted to ask you, you finished the whole trilogy this week, or you just got to the end of the third book?
No, I started.
So you had a 3-book week?
Kind of. I feel like it's cheating a little bit because I did start the first book last weekend. So by your like timeline, I'm off by a little bit, by a couple of days.
Still counts.
But I would say yes, I finished all 3. I'm only going to talk about one of those today.
Okay.
But that's not the first one I'm going to talk about. So I'll get to that first later. Okay, so the first one I'm going to talk about is called The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. I read this book because the Two Girls, One Ghost podcast talked about it, and they were doing a book club on it. And they aren't the first people that I've seen talk about this, so they brought it up, and then I started seeing it online, and it just started getting bigger, and I was like, okay, maybe I should just listen to this. I used a credit for it on Audible, and it's a mystery thriller. I don't know if I want to tell you okay, I'm going to tell you first. I did, like I said, I listened to it. I listened to it at 1.4 speed because the narrator is very like breathy and whispery, and it was bothering the fuck out of me at 1.2. So I bumped it to 1.4 and it kind of like fixed it. I feel like my normal speed is usually like 1.3 anyway, but anyway, I don't know why I started so low on this one, but it definitely has to be at 1.4 because it's just not, their narrator is not that for me. Okay. So the book is, a girl, Barbara Van Laar, is a 13-year-old girl in a summer camp in the summer of 1975. She goes missing from camp. Her camp counselor finds her bunk empty in the morning on a day that August. What makes this extra interesting, though, is that her family owns the summer camp and lives on the same property. So like off to the side or whatever. And they have another child that went missing on the property 14 years ago.
Jeez.
Yes. And his name is Bear. Barbara's brother's Bear was never found. So yes. They spend the whole book investigating. This description is very short because it's like super mystery and I feel like giving too much away, whatever. So they basically spend the entire book investigating the disappearance and basically uncovering all of the secrets of this very wealthy Van Laar family. Basically along the way, finding out that everybody's been lying for the last like 15 years. And it's a wild ride. So just on vibes, like how I feel like vibes with the book, okay. I think I liked it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Did you say that this was based on a true story? Or is this... Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
Not a true... That would be crazy. I think... Okay, so I think I liked it, but when I get to like critiquing it and actually starting to like pick things out, I'm not as in love with this. Okay. Every chapter is a different POV.
Oh.
And it's on a different date. Oh. And sometimes a different year.
Oh, it breaks all the rules.
Yes. So you really have to like pay attention to who's talking, where you're at in time, where you're at in the story. Like after a little while, I feel like it got a little bit easier. Like once you're further in the book and you kind of know who people are, you have an understanding of where they're probably going to be in time. But some of the characters are not like that. They're both, you get past and present of them. And so you really have to try to pay attention to like where you are. So,
and it's only one narrator?
Only one narrator.
Okay.
And there's a lot of characters. So like it's so I'm gonna give you a timeline. So here's all the people. You get Alice, Tracy, Louise, Judith, or Judy. Oh, that's not how you say her name. Anyway, she goes by Judy. I think my thing auto corrected the name, but that's not how you say. I know that's not how you say her name. And then a few from Jacob, Barbara, Victor, and Carl. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people that you get. And in the timelines, you get July 1975, August 1975, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 of the disappearance. You get just 1975 as a whole. You get 1961, 1962, and then you get at the house, at the camp, and there's some stuff that happens at a hotel. So those are all of the like locations and timelines and all of the people that you're tracking. It's wild.
It sounds like a lot.
It's a lot. So it's also very long. I feel like it's longer than it needs to be. It's filled with a lot of fluff. I don't know why I said fluff.
The floofs.
It's yes, filled with the floofs. That I didn't really feel helped the story. I also feel like everything was meant to try to be a twist. Like everything anyone said was a lie, which ultimately then turned into like a twist later. Like, oh, you thought you knew, but you didn't. Like none of the clues or information that you learn at any time can be used later because it was all meant to be misleading, which it like some is fun, but it just wasn't. I don't know. Anyway, there also every time the cops needed to talk to someone, that person could not be found. Like every time, like at some point they have to just be in the same place, right? Like everybody's in this house, but the cops are like, "Where's so and so?" And they're like, "Oh, I haven't seen them.
Like he just left.
I don't know what happened." There was also, it really was because it was like in the 70s, like the book was set in the 70s, but there was a lot of emphasis on this one investigator being a woman. And I don't think that it like benefited the story in any way. It was just like, oh, you're a woman and you're here investigating. Should I be talking to you? Like, okay. Also, all of the characters were just kind of beige. I don't know, like
flat.
Yeah. And then honestly, the ending was just very like unsatisfying. So the story overall, I felt like was intriguing. I liked the story, but I just maybe didn't love how it was told. Okay. So I'm going to go true middle of the road, which for me is 3 stars. So 3, raspberries. 3 whole raw raspberries. Yeah, so I do have some spoilers that I may put into Goodreads, but I just like, I don't know. It just was unfortunate, I guess. I hoped for more, but now I do want to go listen to the 2 Girls, 1 Ghost like book. I think it's behind Patreon though, so I don't have their Patreon, so I don't know that I will do that, but I would be interested to hear how they liked it because I feel like they probably did.
Yeah, that was going to be my question because I think you've listened to a book club that they've done
before.
Was it I can't remember the name of the book is now.
Oh no.
It was the one with that Gert.
Yes, it was when the girl, she gets possessed or whatever.
Yes. Like, my best friend's possession. Or I don't
exorcism? My best friend's exorcism.
Yeah.
Yes, it was that one.
Yeah, and you did not. They liked it and you didn't. So
I think I need to stop listening to their book recommendations. Dang it.
Only if you find out that they liked it.
Yeah, I do. I think that one, because my best friend's exorcism, they did with another podcast as like a group thing. And so that one was on their regular feed, where I think this one they just did by themselves. So I think this one's on excuse me, on Patreon. So I have to double check that. But if I find out, I will let you know. And I will let you know if I'm never taking their recommendations again.
There you
Okay, so the next book I'm going to talk about is the first book of the trilogy that I read. I decided to split it up for a couple reasons. One's because there's three, and I don't really want to talk about all three of them in one episode. And then two, because book 2 and 3, they're all related. Obviously, they're all connected. But book 2 and 3 are even more connected to each other because they kind of, 2 ends off on a cliffhanger and 3 picks up right where it's whatever. So it kind of just carries on, where the first book has kind of more of a clear finish to it. So we're going to do book 1 here. I will give you a spoiler and tell you I really like this series or this trilogy. So if you choose to read them before you hear the end next week, that would be great. Okay, so it is called, the trilogy is called The 4MK Thriller, and the first book is called The Fourth Monkey. So it is a crime thriller. It is there are a lot of trigger warnings that I'm going to give you. So I will say my big genre back probably 10, 15 years ago, whatever, before I like super got into fantasy, was always crime. I read crime thrillers all the time. It was like my go-to genre. And then I don't know what happened. I think what happened is I found Kindle Unlimited and I found fantasies on there. And that was like all I read forever of times. And I just kind of fell out of crimes. Well, lately I've been jumping back in, and this one is a wild place to jump back into. So I'm going to give you some of the trigger warnings. Graphic violence, sometimes in detail. Off-page animal cruelty, sexual assault references to child abuse, mental illness, something called body horror, which is like medical gory content. Okay. That's I think all of them, but just kind of understand this is a serial killer story. So anything that can go along with that, assume that it's in this book.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so there is a killer called the 4MK Killer in the streets of Chicago. It is a serial killer who picks his victims as a punishment to the victim's family who has done something the killer deems wrong. So in some of the cases, there was a dad who was selling child pornography. There was a dad who swapped fake diamonds for real ones in his jewelry store. There was a brother who ran a sweatshop full of undocumented people. A dad who imported coke for the cartel. And so obviously the serial killer finds these people to be doing things that are wrong and bad, and he punishes them by capturing and killing their children, their daughters specifically. So
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say he captures and kills them. And I was like, yeah, like a vigilante. And then you were like, they're daughters. And I was like, oh, I am not on board.
No, he does. He kills their daughters because he says that it will provide them more pain by having to live through their child being captured and tortured and murdered than if he just killed them. It's crazy. So he follows, the reason it's called the fourth monkey is because he follows this pattern of hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. So first what he does is he takes the kid, the child, and he cuts off their ear and he sends it to the family in a little box and that's hear no evil. And then he cuts out their eyes and sends that to them. See no evil, and then he cuts out their tongue. Sends that to them. Speak no evil. And then the fourth monkey is do no evil. So when he delivers the dead body out in wherever he drops it, it's do no evil. And that is his way of being like, stop doing evil. Okay. So the book starts with they have a new victim. They don't know where she is because all they've received is the first box so far with the ear. So they don't know where she is. they don't know what the father has done at this point. They assume that it's the father that has done something, but they don't know what he's done to put him on this do no evil list yet. So they're kind of trying to figure out everything at the same time. Like, what has this man done to get him on the list? And where is she at? And how can we save her before he goes through all of the pieces? So the book is broken into multiple POVs. And in this case, I feel like it's done fine. Like, I'm not overwhelmed by it. So you get one who is Sam Porter, who is the lead detective. You get Claire, who is another detective on the case. One is the POV of the current victim that they are searching for. So you get what she's going through. And then one is written as diary entries or journal entries from the killer. And those are fucking dark. And not in like when I was writing this down, I was like thinking not in like a fun, dark romance kind of way that people are into. This is like dark in a serial killer kind of way.
Great.
So
I was really hoping you would tell me he like puts her into a medically induced coma and then removes her eyes, and now you're making me
alive.
think it's like spoons or sucked out with like no, you're. Oh,
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry. So that's kind of it, right? So like the whole story is basically going through and following Sam Porter as he tries to solve the case and find the girl, and going through and a lot of the journal in this book, the journal entries and diary entries from the 4MK is all about his past. So it kind of is his childhood of how he got here, basically.
Okay.
It's fucking crazy. So I was totally fine with how dark it was. I was not expecting for it to be that dark because I didn't get that from the description. But once I got into it, I was like, damn, that I did not know that was happening, but I'm fine with it.
Okay.
And I will say, like a little spoiler, but obviously it's called the 4MK Thriller series trilogy. So you have to assume he does not get caught in this first book. It's so the whole series covers him, but I'll get into book 2 and 3 next week. Also, with the diaries, you don't really understand why you're getting those in the beginning until you like really get into the story. Because at first, like the first couple diary entries, I was like, why do we care about this? And then you get to like entry 3 or 4 or whatever it is, and you're like, oh, I see. I see. This also has quite a few twists and surprises that fucking got me. Like,
wow.
I think there was one that I guessed kind of early on, and it was like a baby minor one.
You're like, I did so good.
Yeah, I did great.
No.
No. And then I started getting more, and I was like, oh, I was right, but I was wrong.
Small right. Yeah.
Yes. So that was actually really fun for me because I feel like I haven't had books lately that the twists like get me. And this one got me.
Wow.
And there's more in the future books too. Spoilers.
Wow.
So 100% recommend this for anybody who is into like dark crime.
All right.
For no one else. I don't think I want to give it 5 stars, but I'll probably go 4.5.
Okay.
So 4.5 raspberries. If I have to round, I think I'm rounding down, but only because I finished the rest of the series.
Okay.
Like, I think it could have potentially rounded up until I read book 2.
And they were like, oh no, that one's my favorite.
Spoiler, yes, for next week. So yeah, I 4.5, The Fourth Monkey by J.D. Barker. Did I even say that? I don't know.
You were so excited.
I was so excited. J.D. Barker. Apparently he's like a big crime author, and I probably will read other stuff by him, but I need a breather. Like I need like a cozy fantasy.
Like a home fantasy.
Yes, because holy shit. It's wild. I can't wait to tell you about books 2 and 3 next week.
Man, this is crazy. Yeah. When you told me that you had finished 3 books, or you finished the series, because that's all you said. You're like, oh, I finished the series. And I was like, oh, okay. And then when you just said you were like, I finished it in a week, I was like, holy shit.
Yes.
Maybe
it was a little bit longer. Okay, so I started this book on the 2nd, April 2nd.
Oh,
so I finished all 3. What's that, 2 weeks then? Okay, so 2 weeks. But I know for sure this week I finished those 2. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's that. I'm sorry that I grossed you out.
It's okay. It just like when people talk about blood and gore, and it makes like, this is why I don't watch TV, because
Right.
like it makes my knees hurt.
Okay.
It makes my joints hurt. Like, that's how old I am.
No.
Like, all my joints are like, it's like, you ever like move your elbow and it feels like your elbow is grinding?
Yes.
Like when
That's what it
somebody
feels
talks
like when
about
you-
gore, that's what my joints feel like, and I'm like, ow, it's physical aversion.
Oh no. Okay, do not listen to these books.
Yeah, I will. I'm glad you enjoyed them.
Yes.
I'm glad that you like that they got you.
Yes.
But
No,
I
these
will
are
take
not
your
for
word
you.
for it. I'll take your word for it.
Yes. Okay, well that's all of my books. Are you ready to enter listener corner?
Oh yeah, I forgot we're doing listener corner. Dang it,
Yes.
I am bad at this.
That's okay. That's what I'm here for, to tell you that we are now in listener corner.
Yes, I would love to hear about listener corner.
Okay, great. So this week we are entering episode 34's question, which was, do you read dedications, acknowledgments, prologues, and epilogues?
Yeah. I did go through and read some of these comments.
So I will say most people, I'm going to give you some specifics, but overall, most people said yes to prologues and epilogues, almost unanimously. Some were angry with you about thinking they were optional.
Yes, I did get that drift.
Yes, some of them were angry with you. And then it seemed like dedications and acknowledgments were kind of like all over the place, but like with caveats. So
Right.
like,
Yeah.
So here are some that I thought were fun. So like I said, with caveats, this person said that Commander Cody said that dedications and acknowledgments were sometimes, and it depends on the author, which I did see a couple of times where it was like very author specific. Like this person said that dedications have made them cry before, so they sometimes like to see if it's like about somebody who's very important to them or something like that. The Clint on TikTok said that they read the acknowledgments until it turns into a list of people.
Oh yeah.
Which I think is fair. I can honestly say that I've done that before, for sure. Like, I just kind of drift into the acknowledgments and I'm like, oh, what's going on? And then it's like person. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that thing on the internet where it's like, read this number, and it's like, I don't know, 13 digits long. And then at the end of it, it's like, you didn't read the whole number, did you? Like, that's how I feel. When
you're
I
looking
see a
at
whole
the-
bunch of names, I'm like, yes, my wife, my kids, like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I don't no more. Tori on TikTok said that they're actually more likely to read dedications and acknowledgments than the epilogues. Which, why?
We have to understand this.
Yes, I don't understand this one. again, like I said, dedications and acknowledgments have caveats. So Jada said that only if it's a memoir, they'll read those.
Okay.
And then Camilla on TikTok said, which I found to be a very interesting take. Prologues, no, because I haven't met the characters yet, and I don't care about their backstory.
Oh,
An
that's interesting.
epilogue, yes, if I want to know more about the characters.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm interested in that one, though, because, like, the prologue is setting it up. So, of course, you don't care about them yet because you haven't started the book yet.
Yeah, but optional information.
It's not.
Well, it could be.
I don't think it's optional.
Could you read the rest of the book and be perfectly fine not knowing what happens in the
You
prologue?
could do that in any book and just skip one chapter. Like, you
No,
probably
that's
still
not
figure
true.
it out.
That's not true.
Yes, huh?
Well, I mean, if you're going to say, would you figure it out? Yes, eventually. But usually the introductions don't start until the book starts.
Okay. Fine. I'm still not 100% on board with any of you people who are not choosing to read the prologue. So we're just going to have to agree to disagree.
Okay.
Okay, great. And then there was one from Ben that did not have to do with the specific question that we asked, but still one that I want to bring up because I 100% agree with them. And they said that they skip all of the poems and songs that are in books that they read.
1000%.
Yes, I never read those. I always try. I always am like, I'm gonna be the person that reads these.
Mm-hmm.
And then I start to, and it just immediately starts feeling awkward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I start and I'm like,
I don't need this.
I don't need this.
Because
it doesn't
then
rhyme. I don't care.
Exactly. And I start trying to like make a song in my head, and that's not good for anyone. And so like it just turns into something that is uncomfortable and awkward, and I don't do it. So I need people to not do that. And then also that comment sparked another thought that I had, and somebody actually mentioned this as well. Something that I skip that I learned my lesson on is the, like, sometimes at the beginning of a chapter, they'll put like a quote or like something like that. And on Fourth Wing, I learned my lesson because those have clues to other things. Like, they don't seem important at first. And so I want to say when I read Fourth Wing, I probably read the first time, I probably read like half the book before I started realizing that those actually mattered. And I was like, oh, shit. I think I was supposed to read those.
I do not read those either.
So yeah, I thought that was a fun addition to our extra bits. So, basically, bottom line, you have to start reading prologues and epilogues. Thank you.
I'll think about it.
Don't tell me no.
I actually did it for my book this week, and it just made me
did?
angry.
Oh.
Yeah, fucking Codename Nemo. And...
All right. Oh, you read the epilogue, right? And it did not help you.
Did I say prologue? My bad. I read the epilogue.
I don't know what you said. I wasn't listening.
Aw, you were like, I'm not going to listen to anything you say because you're going to do what I want.
That's right. What you say doesn't matter.
Because you're going to do what I said.
Exactly. Okay, are you ready for our discussion question for this week?
Yes.
Okay, what are your thoughts on special edition books?
Oh, they make me spend all my money.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that's what my answer is too.
Yeah.
They basically take my money. They're too pretty for me not to have FOMO over.
Yeah. Well, that and there's so many subscription services now out there that do the same book. So you'll buy a book and then the second one will come out by a different company and the second book is better.
It's better.
And
yes.
so now you have like, now you're like, shit, do I buy Do I care that my books don't match?
Right.
Or do I have to buy two? Do I have to buy the special editions of both?
Yes.
Like, why is this important to me?
I know. Like, why is it important? That's a great question. Also, I do think the special editions are getting a little out of hand.
Yeah.
Like, is it consumer culture that's driving it? Is it like what is happening? Because I don't feel like this has ever been like this before.
Yeah.
Where you have like 72 special editions of the same book that.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's some of them, because like we've said before, I have a couple subscription services. I get a lot of books where I'm like, do I care about this book? And now I have a special edition. Like, maybe I should just get rid of it. And then I'm like, but a special edition.
You have this feeling of like, I have to keep it now because it's a special one.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I don't know. I'm trying to get out of the like constant feeling like I have to have the special editions, but sometimes they're just so pretty and I can't help myself.
Yeah. And the problem with that is if it's a good one, like you can't go back and get them later.
Right.
And then people resell them for 3 or 4 times what like they paid for them. So,
which is crazy. It's just another level of the hyper consumerism, I guess. But yeah, it is getting out of control. I want that idea that it's getting out of control to stop me, but it doesn't. Which is unfortunate. What can we do about that?
I don't know. Well, and then on top of that, sometimes they have bonus material.
See, that's another problem. Yes. And they
Like
come out with this special edition and it's got this special chapter. And if you buy this special edition, it's got a different special chapter from a different POV. Like, what is a book lover to do?
I know.
Buy them all.
Buy them all.
We could just do like I did that one time when that new version of Iron Flame or something like that. Fourth Wing? Iron Flame. Whichever one came out that had a different POV than the book that I had. I was like, well, I guess I'm reading that in the bookstore.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll say, I mean, obviously, my thoughts on bottom line is I'm going to buy them. I know I shouldn't, but I'm going to. I don't know.
We're all sad about it.
I know. Because there's really, like, you think about it, like, I could be, in the money that I spend on these special editions, I could buy, like, 7 books.
Right.
Like, when everything's said and done, I could buy 7 books. And I have this book that's still wrapped in plastic on my shelf that I'm probably never going to read, but it's a special edition. If that doesn't say you have a problem with consumerism, Nicole, I don't know what does.
Well, we'll start our own problem with consumerism club.
There we go. It's a support group. Welcome.
Yes, because I am also needing to be added to this group. Thank you.
Exactly.
All right. Well, tell us what you think. Are you out there buying special editions? Are you stronger than we are?
Do you have self-control?
Yes, exactly.
Help us.
Yes. Let us know on all the places, all of our social media, savorthestorypod.com. Not .com. I mean, you can go there, savorthestorypod.com. That is our website. But all of our social media handles are just savorthestorypod. The end.
The end.
Find us everywhere. Go comment on things. Have fun engagement with us. Maybe hear your engagement on the next episode. Hang out with us. We love it. The end. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Get out of here.